The Gokage bolster the strength of the Shinobi Alliance in my review of Naruto Chapter 649. Due to scheduling, Christian will not be here today. He is on the movie set, but he should be back next week for the next Naruto chapter review. But I'm going to be taking it solo today, so let's just go ahead and take a look at this chapter, which was all set up. Now, it wasn't bad setup, and there were some things that I particularly enjoyed. Most of it had to involve Shikamaru, but for the most part, this was just another chapter very similar to last week's, just getting us really excited for this final battle that's going to be happening. So let's just talk about some of the highlights this week. First and foremost, Shikamaru. It looks like he's going to be okay. Over the last couple chapters, I did not know if Shikamaru was going to live or not. You know, when you're on an anime or manga deathbed, anything can possibly happen. But in this week's chapter, it was reassured that he is going to be okay, and I actually liked the build-up to it. In fact, I even like when they had those little bit of flashbacks that they've shown before, the fact that he's always really liked Naruto, he sees something in him, and he essentially wants to be his advisor when he becomes the Hokage. I especially like the comparison of the fact that the first Hokage has his brother Tobirama, but Naruto doesn't have a brother, so basically Shikamaru is going to fill this role for him. And eventually Tsunade is able to come over, and I'm guessing she actually heals Shikamaru. You can actually see in the panel, there's this wording that comes up when she touches his head. And what's really interesting about all of this scene is that she's not using any signs. She's not weaving any ninja signs or anything. She's actually very similar to the first Hokage. She's able to heal people simply by touching them. And this, of course, shows that Tsunade has actually gotten stronger, even though a giant tree was slammed down on top of her abdomen and, you know, cut her in half. This is Naruto logic, though. They can get away with this type of stuff. The rest of the chapter is getting to see the Gokage pump everybody up for this big final battle. Killer Bee and Raikage getting ready to do a lariat. Onoki commenting on the fact that that tree is small and the earth is large. And since they're from the Stone Village, they're going to be tearing that thing up from the roots. You have Mei, who's essentially just reminding us that she's a woman again. And then you have Gaara, who's getting ready to mess some shit right up. So everybody's getting really pumped up for this big final battle. And what's most interesting, I think, about all of this is you actually get the scene where Kakashi is just sort of hanging out in that weird pocket space that's inside of Obito, or maybe inside him. I don't know. It's really confusing. But he's stitching himself up, and he's even commenting that, looks like I'll be able to get out of here pretty soon. So it's good to see that Kakashi is going to be okay. And that's pretty much the end of this week's chapter. Now, it wasn't a bad one. In fact, there were a lot of little moments that I even smoothed over. There was this one funny moment where Kiba comments that he's the one who's going to become Hokage, and that he's going to need an advisor, but Akamaru doesn't like this, and eventually Shino's like, nah man, you're going to be able to have 2 advisors, it's all good. And essentially it's just everybody commenting on the fact that they want to be able to stand by Naruto and be able to help him out in this really, really big battle. I even liked the moment where Tsunade sort of acknowledged the fact that Sakura is doing a really awesome job. So, decent chapter, a lot of build-up. I really want the action to start very soon. I was talking with Christian about this chapter earlier this morning, and we both agree we're just sort of ready for the action to start. The last couple weeks have been like all build-up, so we're ready for some good conclusive action and maybe a few more answers as to really what the hell is going on. So at the end of the day, this was a pretty decent chapter. It was above average, but it wasn't exactly perfect, and I'd say my favorite part from this week's chapter was probably just getting to see that Shikamaru is going to be okay, because he's one of my favorite characters. So, because of that, I'm going to give this week's chapter a 7 out of 10. Just pretty decent, but if you're a Naruto fan, definitely check it out. So how did you guys feel about this week's chapter of Naruto? It was all build-up. Are you excited to see the final battle with the Ten Tails? And are you glad that Shikamaru is alive? You can let me know with your comments below. And make sure before you guys leave to give this video a thumbs up. Absolutely one of the best ways to support our videos. That and checking out some of the other ones that we have right up top. So, I will see you next week, guys. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.